I'm a minute early. Oh no, it's exactly 6:30. How cool is that? Okay, we are going to talk about how to pray more consistently, how to pray more deeply, because this is the month. There's only one ding that's going to come, because this is the month of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. It's not a coincidence that it's also Pride Month. The Sacred Heart of Jesus has been in June from, well, we're going to talk about that, from a long time ago. So we should be truly looking, especially during this month, praying to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, consoling Jesus, making sure that we sacrifice our life. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't on mute. I was on mute last time. That we sacrifice our time, that we die to ourselves, that we comfort Jesus, and we pray for the reparation of sinners out there. There are the First Friday devotions that we can do. This is a Catholic devotion that you attend Mass, you receive communion, you go to confession. I'm having all these dings. I don't know what's going on. Hey, Letty. Hey, Karen. Oh, you guys are quick on the draw. I can't wait to talk about tonight because I don't know about you. Hey, Mike. Good to see you. Glad to see you joined. Cherie. Hey, it's like the crew, except we missed you last time, Letty and Cherie. But Patrick, I like Patrick. He was on. Oh, I love you guys. How much you love each other. Yay. Okay. So we are going to again talk about how we can pray more deeply. We're going to dive into the catechism a little bit on prayer. And then we're going to talk about those things that keep us from praying. And I know that we have the world that distracts us. There's no doubt in my mind. Do any of you, by show of hands, by a comment, do you struggle with morning prayer? Do you struggle with prayer in general? Do you find that in months like this, the Sacred Heart of Jesus month, the whole month of June, that you kind of do Jesus a little disservice by not spending more time with him, by not sacrificing, and basically showing how much you love him and comforting him through all that he did? I mean, if you think about it, you have to look at the Christian faith. Did you guys see Bishop Robert Barron on Tucker Carlson today? Maybe not, but I caught a glance of it. Actually, I caught the whole thing. I was listening to it today, and boy, Bishop Barron has quite the vocabulary. I hope that he didn't lose too many people. Oh, I just realized I don't have my scapular on. I took it off because I got wet today. The raise of hand. Very good. That's so cool, Letty. I'm with you, girl. I'm with you. And this is the life of a Christian, is to pray. And there's no other religion that has a God that went through so much torment, who allowed himself, because it was the Father's will, to go through that horrific torture and then die on a cross, only to come back 3 days later with the heart of forgiveness and loving everyone. He was even praying for those who were nailing his hands and his feet on the cross. Lord, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. I didn't see it. What did he say/do? So Cherie, it was really good. He was just very big on his vocabulary. Let's just say that. So I hope that he didn't lose just the basic person out there. Used a lot of theological words. Check it out, watch it. Maybe you won't agree, but me being Catholic, I was just like, dude, just speak common English. He's just got such intelligence. He would be quoting books, quoting different saints, quoting different popes, all the stuff that he has in his mind. It's really quite amazing. Let me move my microphone up. It was pointing down. Oh, so you tell us smart words. I have to show people this one. Capital smart. Yes, yes. And I just wish he was just a little bit more, I don't know if the word relatable is the word I'm looking for or not. Come here, bring it here, babe. Good girl. Good girl. So she's been very calm today. Very calm. I don't know if she knows, hey, when that light goes off, I might go in the bedroom. For those of you who weren't here last time, she got a little bit crazy. So I just picked her up and I put her in our bedroom. She didn't like that. She barked quite a bit, but I think she's doing really well. Can you drop? I'll play. Okay, let's get into it. Okay. So first, the whole Sacred Heart of Jesus. Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Do you want to say hi? Are you on the screen here? Because I just flipped off of it. Hi, baby. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, you want me to throw it? Okay. You gonna go get it? Well, I threw it, baby. Oh. Okay. No. We can't play that. Okay. All right, we're getting into it. So I don't know if you all know, I think some of us may know parts of this, but Saint Margaret Mary, I always butcher this last name, Alacoque or Alacoque, I don't know, Alacoque. She had these visions of Jesus throughout much of her life. Can you imagine? This wasn't just like a stint when she became, a nun. It was all throughout her life. Like she thought that it was a normal part of the human experience to see Jesus, to receive messages from Jesus, kind of like Saint Padre Pio, who, at 5 years old was seeing Jesus and thought it was just normal that everybody saw the Lord, which I can't even imagine visually seeing him and hearing specific things that is a locution. Locution is Jesus speaking to you. Okay, so she developed an intense devotion to the Blessed Sacrament. For those who are watching that have no idea what the Blessed Sacrament is, in the Catholic Church, I have to say this, everyone, sorry, I know you guys all know what it is who are like commenting and are there, but in the Catholic Church, the Holy Communion host is consecrated by the priest. Only a priest can do this. This is handed down to us on Holy Thursday. Okay, this is not what we're doing. Sierra, do you want to go in the room? Okay. So during Mass, or let's just go down during the Mass. During the Mass, he holds up the host and it turns into, it's called transubstantiation, changing substance from the bread and wine into the blood and body of Jesus. So what Father or Bishop Robert Barron was saying today was this is the representation of the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross. I'm so sorry if this is bothering you with her. I'm trying to do my best to just keep it focused. So it's a representation of the sacrifice. And then if we look at our God who died for us because of the love of us, he came back. He not only came back for the 40 days, just this past Sunday, we celebrated the ascension of the Lord, but he was here for 40 days with the apostles, with his followers, teaching him all that they needed to know and establishing his church. This is when he gave Peter the keys to the kingdom. Peter became the first pope. So if you look at any other Christian denomination, evangelical, Baptist, etc., they didn't come into existence and they were created by a man. So even though there wasn't a physical church, they still handed down the Eucharist. The Eucharist means Thanksgiving. It is Jesus's body and blood. So we are allowed to receive Jesus in Mass. So that is the beautiful gift of Jesus. He didn't just give up himself on the cross. He gave us himself in Holy Communion. This is why it's amazing. So every Catholic can receive Jesus, body, blood, soul, and divinity at Mass every single day. There is Mass most all over the world. So if you think about it, every hour of almost every day, Jesus is present in the Holy Eucharist. Okay. So moving on with Saint Margaret Mary. Okay, so when she says that she had an intense devotion to the Blessed Sacrament, that means when she received Jesus in Mass, plus at adoration. When Jesus, the Holy Communion host, is already consecrated, it's Jesus, and he's put in a monstrance. Monstrance means to show, and you can also sit in the Catholic Church. He's in the tabernacle. There's a little gold box, hopefully somewhere in the center of your parish and your church. And bottom line, sits in front of Jesus, adores him, loves him, prays to him, just is in his presence. So Christ made his presence known to her during some challenging times. During her retreat, before her religious profession, she had a vision where Jesus declared, "Behold the wound in my side, wherein you are to make your abode now and forever." This early revelation foreshadowed the profound intimacy she would share with Christ's heart. So he had 5 wounds, the 2 in his hands, the 2 in his feet, and then the one in his right side, which came through, pierced his heart. Blood and water shot out, which, by the way, blood and water would not shoot out of a dead person. Your heart isn't pumping. Nothing would have the water and blood gush out. So now she has this devotion to his heart, to his pierced heart. Okay, the most significant period of her mystical experiences occurred at the Visitation Monastery, where she reportedly received several apparitions and private revelations of Jesus Christ between December 27th, 1673 and June of 1675. 2 whole years. Bring it here. Come on, bring it here. These visions were not merely private spiritual encounters. They were divine mandates for specific, concrete devotional practices. Sierra, hold on. We are not doing that. We're not putting it under the furniture, okay? Do you want to go in the room? Do you want to go in here? Be good. Okay. Good girl. It's okay. It's okay. All right. Be a good girl. Okay. So 2 years. And this is where we get this concrete devotion. I got to figure out where I'm at. Okay. Concrete devotional practices indicating a divine blueprint for how humanity should respond to this revealed love. The quote-unquote great revelation of the Sacred Heart took place on December 27th, 1673, the feast of Saint John the Evangelist. As Margaret Mary knelt before the exposed Blessed Sacrament, Jesus allowed her to rest her head on his heart, instructing her to take the place of Saint John, who had occupied that place at the Last Supper. So if you remember, not St. John the Baptist, but St. John, who was there, who was the only one of his apostles that did not leave him alone, rested his head on Jesus's chest. This is at the Last Supper, and was asking, who is it? Who's going to be the one that's going to betray you? Okay, I lost my place again. Hang on. Okay, going back. Jesus allowed her to rest her head on his heart, instructing her to take the place of St. John, who had occupied that at the Last Supper. In this profound vision, Jesus revealed his Sacred Heart as the ultimate symbol of his immense love for mankind, declaring, quote, this is Jesus's words to her, "My divine heart is so inflamed with love for mankind that it can no longer contain within itself the flames of its burning charity and must spread them abroad by your means. So she's taking on her shoulders these words, and she now has to spread the devotion to his Sacred Heart. So Margaret Mary described his heart as being on fire and surrounded by a crown of thorns. Wow. You know, the crown of thorns on his head. Okay, the flames, great. Often depicted with a visible wound and surmounted by a cross. So I did not pull up. I'm going to quickly do an image of Jesus. Sorry, I'm typing with one hand because I'm holding her with the other. Okay. All right, this is probably the best picture. There. Okay. It's better to show you. Present. Share screen. Okay. Sacred Heart of Jesus. Okay. So right there, you can see there's the cross on the top. There's flames that cannot be contained by his heart, but his heart, around them, there's a crown of thorns. Okay, she just got up. Hang on a sec. Good girl, babe. Okay. I'm just going to keep that up so that you guys can just meditate and focus on that. All right. Jesus himself explained the rich symbolism. Let's go over that again. The flames represent his burning love for humanity, while the crown of thorns symbolized man's sinfulness and ingratitude. The cross above the heart signifies his redemptive sacrifice for the sins of the world, and the wound on his side represents the injury inflicted upon him by the Roman soldier, and metaphorically, by all human beings through their sins. This imagery is not just symbolic of general divine love, but of a suffering love. Suffering love. This is the love that is true. This is Christian love. It is suffering for someone else, like dying to yourself and your selfish needs, and just loving that person regardless of what they do, right? You're supposed to love your enemies as yourself, pray for those who persecute you. Like, you have to suffer and sacrifice yourself to give the love that Jesus has for us. Look at all that he did for us. All of his passion, all of that brutal torment and torture, plus hanging on the cross. Okay. Okay, sorry, I forgot this one special part. This imagery is not just symbolic of a general divine love, but of a suffering love, a heart wounded by rejection. This moves beyond abstract theological concepts to a deeply personal portrayal of God's emotional experience of human sin. The request for reparation implies that human actions or inactions directly impact the divine heart, fostering a more intimate and responsible relationship between the believer and Christ. The core message conveyed by Jesus in these apparitions was his boundless love for humanity and the profound sorrow he experienced due to the ingratitude, irreverence, and coldness he received in return. I mean, let's think about it. When you just want to love someone and, you want them to love you back and they don't, how that hurts us. And then yet Jesus loves all of humanity. And there are so many people out there who don't even care to think about him. I myself was one of those. Never thought of God. Wasn't until 42 years of my life that He pulled me out of the pits of hell, showed himself to me, and my life out totally changed. Totally changed. Okay. He desired the world to recognize his continuous outpouring of love, symbolized by his Sacred Heart, and to make amends for humanity's desertion of his affection. So we as Christians are called to suffer, to sacrifice, to do the things that he wants us to do, not the things that we want to do, our selfish ways, our addictions, our laziness, all of the things. We're called to stop doing those things, but then yet offer it up so that during this month of June, during his Sacred Heart, and we're on the second day, we can help comfort his heart, be there to comfort him. Like, okay, you know what, Lord, I was the one that ignored you, that maybe made fun of you, who didn't believe in you, but now I do. So I'm going to do things to help make reparations for that, for myself, but also for all of the other people who are out there who are doing the same thing. Okay. These visions were not merely for Margaret Mary's personal spiritual growth. They were a divine mandate for specific devotional practices intended to shape the public liturgical life and private spiritual practices of the entire church. Every single person. This is for us. We should be publicly living our life of faith so that people know and they can actually accuse you of being a Christian, but also in our private prayer time. This is what we'll get to in a bit. Jesus instructed her to establish these forms of devotion. Number 1, the Feast of the Sacred Heart. Jesus requested that the first Friday after the octave of the Blessed Sacrament, which is also called Corpus Christi, be dedicated to a particular feast to honor his heart. On this day, the faithful are to receive Holy Communion and make acts of reparation. This request led to the institution of the Solemnity of the Sacred Heart, which is now celebrated annually on the third Friday following Pentecost. The precision of these instructions, such as specifying the timing of the feast, underscores a divine blueprint for how humanity should respond to this revealed love, moving from a personal encounter to communal worship and acts of atonement. Number 2, the First Friday devotions. Have you guys done the First Friday devotions? Go ahead and put a comment down. This practice involves the reception of Holy Communion on 9 consecutive First Fridays. What is a First Friday? It's the first Friday of the month. Okay. Here it is. The first Friday of each month as a special act of reparation for sins committed against Christ's heart. Jesus promised final perseverance and a safe refuge at the hour of death to those who faithfully practice this devotion. Final perseverance and a safe refuge at the hour of death. Do you know that the last hour, there is a fight for your soul? Satan and his minions are trying to take your soul, and Jesus and Mary are trying to take your soul, right? So if you do these First Friday devotions, which again is 9 consecutive months, going to Mass, receiving Holy Communion, I say going to confession very soon after, at least be in a state of grace when you receive Jesus, because you really shouldn't receive Jesus if you're not in a state of grace. And then pray for all those people who are sinning. Don't eat meat on that day. Do something special, something beyond. Like how you do on Fridays during Lent. Technically, every single Friday, we should be doing something to sacrifice for God. And let's not forget to offer it up to him. I think this is a good time to, hold on. Oh, you know what I did? Hang on. I closed all my windows down, and I think I did. I think I closed, or I pulled up. What are the promises? Okay, there's 12 promises of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. When you do the first, the 9, what? I'm not giving you another treat, dude. Come on, I've given you a few. I got to put these away. Hold on, guys. I have to put these away. And you had that right there. Okay. So if that one thing of, basically fighting through that last hour isn't enough, there's 12 total. So let's review them. I will actually share this. We'll go away from the Sacred Heart of Jesus for now. Yes, I've done the first 9 Fridays. Yes, first Friday. Yes, I go to Mass every Friday, not just the first Fridays. That is so awesome. Great for you guys. It's funny because sometimes, by the way, I don't know if you know this. Anytime you go to Mass, doesn't have to be a Sunday. Anytime you go to Mass in a state of grace, going to confession soon around that time of Mass, you can offer up that Mass, pray for the Pope. That's the last thing, sorry. Like say an Our Father, Hail Mary, glory be for the Pope's intentions. Then you can offer up that Mass for someone in purgatory. And we might forget that, we might not know that, but every single time that you go to Mass, you can do this. So let's not forget that one. All right, let's go over the 12 promises. I'm going to put them on my screen so you're not just watching me read. Okay. All right. I will give them all the graces necessary in their state of life. So whatever it is that you are fighting, a temptation, relationships, resentment, he is always going to give you that grace. I mean, I think he's always going to give you that grace anyway, because if we just cooperated with that grace, we know that we have that battle when we're ready to sin, when we're, ready to get angry and snap at someone, when we're gossiping, we feel that. There's grace there always. But I will give them all the graces necessary in their state of life. Okay, I will establish peace in their homes. I will comfort them in their afflictions. I will be their secure refuge during life and above all in death. This is the one that we just read. Secure refuge in death and during life. I will bestow a large blessing upon all their undertakings. Sinners shall find my heart in the source and the infinite ocean of mercy. Whoops. Sinners shall find in my heart the source and the infinite ocean of mercy. Tepid souls shall grow fervent. Fervent souls shall quickly mount to high perfection. I will bless every place where a picture of my heart shall be set up and honored. I got to get that. I don't know if you guys, let me just ask you, have you heard of your house being, that's so cute. Fervent, sorry, it's my word of the year, so it jumps out at me. I love that. Do you guys know about enthroning your house to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary? You can get a picture of the two of them. And then there's a special prayer. It'd be great if you could have a priest come over and do an enthronement on your house. I need to get that picture, and I need to have not only my whole place blessed, including the retreat homes, but I want them enthroned. I got to get on that. Okay, I love that, fervent souls. So I will bless every place where a picture of my heart shall be set up and honored. I will give to priests the gift of touching the most hardened hearts. That is amazing. Now, that's not for us, but that's okay. That's okay. It's still a great promise and a great gift. Those who shall promote this devotion shall have their names written in my heart, never to be blotted out. So get out there and share this all over the place. And the last one, I promise thee in the excessive mercy of my heart that my all-powerful love will grant to all those who communicate on the first Friday in the 9 consecutive months the grace of final penitence. They shall not die in my disgrace, nor without receiving the sacraments. My divine heart shall be their safe refuge in this last moment. Okay, since the promise of number 12 refers to receiving communion and not to attending Mass, I think it's safe to say that the reception of communion at the Good Friday celebration of the Lord's Passion is more than sufficient to comply with the requirements of this devotional practice. I don't think I need to read the rest of this, but you can go on EWTN and check that out if you want to read this whole thing. Okay. Let's go back. Put the Sacred Heart of Jesus on there, because I just think it's awesome. Maybe I should now see if there. Okay, didn't mean to cut off his whole head there. Okay. All right, so those are the 12 promises of the First Friday devotion. So I was only on number 2. So the Feast of the Sacred Heart, the First Friday devotions, the Holy Hours, number 3. Margaret Mary was instructed to spend an hour every Thursday night meditating on Jesus's agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. Good girl. Good girl. In meditating on Jesus's agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. Interesting. It's not on the cross. It's not carrying the cross. It's not with the crown of thorns. It's not his scourging. It's in the agony of the garden. This practice was intended as an act of reparation for sinners and for the abandonment Jesus felt during his passion. This devotion later became widespread among Catholics. Okay, these detailed instructions demonstrate that the revelations were intended to provide a comprehensive liturgical and devotional blueprint for a renewed piety. A renewed piety. We're all here because of the subject of this, right? We want to pray more consistently, pray more deeply, be more pious. All right. They were designed to transform spiritual life by moving from a personal encounter with Christ's suffering, love, to concrete acts of communal worship and atonement. Oh, the 12 promises, but they don't say it the same way. The 12 promises, a covenant of grace. The 12 promises, a covenant of grace. In her visions, Jesus not only revealed his Sacred Heart and requested specific devotions, but also conveyed a profound covenant of grace in the form of the 12 promises. Jesus informed Margaret Mary that her mission to establish devotion to his most Sacred Heart was accompanied by these 12 specific blessings, which we just went over, which he would bestow on all who practice the devotion. These promises are considered reliable, having been approved and cited by the Church, and their fulfillment has been witnessed numerous times in the lives of both clergy and the laity. The overarching purpose of this devotion, as revealed by Jesus, is to draw individuals closer to his heart, enabling them enabling them to encounter him beyond weekly Sunday Mass and to deepen their love for him. Jesus expressed his desire for humanity to find solace and rest on his heart. He conveyed to St. Margaret Mary quote, "Behold the heart which has so loved men that it has spared nothing, even to exhausting and consuming itself, in order to testify its love. I promise you that my heart shall expand itself to shed in abundance the influence of its divine love upon those who shall honor it and cause it to be honored." Amazing. So, I don't know if you have ever prayed the consecration to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I know there are consecrations everywhere. Like, this isn't a long, do it for 33 days kind of thing. There is just a consecration to prayer to the Sacred Heart of Jesus. So just curious, have you guys ever prayed it? Let me know. Okay, I came back to comments, don't see any. We're going to come back to that before we end tonight. Oh, why is my, hold on. What in the world is going on here? I don't know why. Oh, I have like a sliver of my battery for some weird reason. Maybe, I don't know what is going on there. Big long cord may have a short in it. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to do the consecration prayer at the end. I have not. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to do it at the end, so stay tuned. Now we're going to get into developing consistent and deep prayer. Okay. A deep prayer life is truly what a Catholic should have, what every Christian should have. You've heard many times St. Augustine say, "If you do not pray, you will not be saved." It is a serious matter. You do not want to be on your deathbed saying, "Lord, Lord, let me in," kind of thing, right? And him looking at you and saying, "I don't know you. I truly don't know you. But we've been around there sharing your name and, healing people in your name," which can happen in the power of Jesus. But if you don't, it's that personal relationship with him. It's that conversation. It's that waking up and giving him all of the negative thoughts and thanking him with your heart for all of the blessings. It's constantly turning to him throughout your day. It's making Jesus your best friend. It's not praying the out. I mean, it is, but it's, vocal prayer is there for a reason. It's also very good for communal prayer. But if all we're doing is reciting prayers and we're not sitting and just talking to him and giving him our life and inviting him in and surrendering, then he might just say, "I don't know you." Okay, prayer is not a destination. It involves both discipline and a growing relationship with God. So let's look at some practical tips, some insights to help us on this. Make prayer a priority. Schedule it. Are you not getting up in the morning to start your day? Like we hear all the time, our fruits. We have to give him our first fruits. I know many of us struggle with sleep. Good girl. You're such a good girl. Okay, can I have it? Can I have it? Can you give it to Mom? It's okay. It's okay. I know you don't want to get up. I get up at 5. I get up at 5 specifically so that I can pray. I make my coffee. Sometimes I'm miserable at it because I have this thing sitting next to me. If you listen to my podcast, you know, but if you don't listen to my podcast, let me just say that this can be a great thing and a very bad thing. And sometimes in the morning, it becomes a huge distraction. So my struggle And what I take to confession is my idolizing of my phone and it being where I want to spend my first moments in the day. So like, get up, call out to God, thank him for another day. Thank you for another day. Thank you for helping me to be here so that I can help others come to you. You know, like I want to be that apostle, that disciple that makes disciples, that is a disciple and makes disciples. That's what we're called to do. Okay, and we can't do it if we don't pray. Go get it. Go bring it here. Bring it here. Bring it. Good girl. Good girl. Bring it here. Well, you didn't bring it here. Go get it. Bring it here. Come on, bring it here. Good girl. You're such a good girl. Now we're playing with this ball. Okay, so make it a priority and schedule it. Set aside a dedicated time. Just like many other important appointments, your doctor's appointment you don't miss. You schedule time for, I don't know, date night, or maybe you've got your kids' things that you have to go to and you don't miss those things. So make this the most important appointment of your day. Even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes, let's say you're not used to praying first thing in the morning. It's just enough for you to get out of bed, get yourself going and do what you're supposed to do. Maybe you got to work, maybe you've got other things on your plate. But even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes to start, make it a non-negotiable for your day. Okay? You sit down, you have that cup of coffee with Jesus. If you don't drink coffee, get up and have some breakfast with Jesus, you know? So I know that when I do not pray in the morning, and that sometimes happens, I will have things like this sidetrack me. And before you know it, I'm into my podcast for the day. I always read the daily readings though, always. Even if it's a quick read, I'm reading the daily readings because that's where God speaks to me most. But it's the times in the morning where I say, Lord, I'm pretty anxious about this retreat home. I'm pretty anxious trying to put all these numbers together. I'm, nervous about that. Or I'm feeling down. I'm not feeling good. Those types of things. And also ending with blessings. So when you end your prayer with the thanksgiving, right? Like, Lord, another thing, like I'm nervous about spending all this money. I'm not allowing God to come in to my heart and to trust that he had me do this for a reason and that he's not going to leave me like this penniless person where I have, not a you-know-what to a pot to you-know-what in. I switched that little saying. So I've got to trust him. He called me to this. I should be praying my way through it. And when I don't pray my way through it, like if it's a rush day or I've, got other things that are coming in, like doctor's appointments and stuff that come in earlier in the day, which make everything just get mushed. So the 5 o'clock between 6 o'clock is the only time. And then for tomorrow, I do a 6:20 in the morning radio spot with Annunciation Radio. And my mornings are rushed those mornings. So it's important for me to focus. But when I don't do that and I just quickly, give him my day and I don't thank him for my blessings and I don't give him all the things that are weighing on my shoulders, then like relationships or anything, then my day is off. It's very impatient. I get frustrated easier. I can feel the stress in my neck come, like my shoulders start creeping up and I'm just not the same person. I don't have that same love. So it sets the tone for your day. Find a quiet space. I have a quiet space because it's only me. But, when my husband was around, it would be my bedroom. Make it a special place. Like that's the place I sleep too, but it's also the place I feel most comfortable. So when I pray in this couch across from me. Sierra is sleeping next to me and I can look out the window at nature. Sometimes I'll see a deer walk by. It's really cool. Create a designated prayer space, even if it's just a corner of a room. Maybe it's even at your kitchen table, wherever you can minimize distractions. So if your family is up and about, go somewhere else. I mean, I've coached people who took coaching calls in the middle of their closet because that was the only place that they could find quiet space. It could even be your bathroom. Wherever you know that you can be peaceful, go there. Good girl. Man, she's being good. Okay. Consistency over quantity. It's better to pray consistently for a short period of time than to try for long, sporadic prayer times. So again, if it's just that 5 to 10 minutes, bring it here. Bring it here. Is it over there? Oh, hang on, guys. Oh, you should bring it over by Mom. You gotta bring it to Mommy. So the consistency will help you because that will be the appointment every single day, 5 to 10 minutes. You know, it's better than nothing, but I don't know about you, but I could barely get my mind quiet in 5 to 10 minutes. But if you're one of those people that just is struggling to get up and get on with your day, maybe 5 to 10 minutes is what you need. I think you should do a half hour. It takes a good 5 to 15 minutes to just, push everything out of your mind, like think about all the things that are on your list to do that day. And if you wake up automatically jumping into that, you have to practice just putting it aside. Get a notepad next to you, write those things down so that you can get it off your mind, because as you go along in prayer, you or the evil one are going to pop things in your head. Oh, you got to send that email. Oh, you got to make that call. Oh, you better do this. You got to go. You don't have any milk. You better get to the store. Like all these things will come. And so write them down so that you can shut the world out, because that's basically what we're doing. We're just shutting those doors and then putting ourselves in the presence of God. All right. Explore different forms of prayer. There's a lot of different prayers out there. So experiment with what resonates with you at different times. Now, you shouldn't be always doing the same prayer routine. Add some new things. Change it up. If you get in the rut and you just feel like I said my Our Father, I prayed my rosary, I did this, I did that, and you check all those boxes, but yet you don't feel any. Okay, prayer isn't a feeling, love isn't a feeling, but if you don't find that it's fitting you now, nothing's really changing in your life, then try a new devotion. Pray a different prayer. Always pray the rosary, but maybe it's time to just sit with God. So again, we've got the traditional prayers, the Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory Be, Act of Contrition, Apostles' Creed. They're foundational and a great starting point when you don't know what to say. But if you've been on this journey for a while, it's a matter of going deep, really going deeper with God and talking with Him. So the Rosary is a beautiful Marian prayer. As we know, it's based on Christ and Mary's life together. It's really good to meditate on those mysteries. So if the Rosary is the only thing that you can do in the morning, just make sure you're not just saying it, that you're actually praying it, that you're meditating on those mysteries, that the Hail Mary is like in the background of your mind, and in the forefront of your mind is that particular mystery. So the mysteries of the sorrowful mysteries, for example, you're focusing really, like you're putting yourself in the presence of God. You're thinking about Jesus, sweating blood, thinking about Him, all the things that are going to happen to Him, all of the pain and the angst. He's thinking about all of the people. Like there's been reflections where people say that He is sweating blood because of all the sinners that are still not going to come to Him. When He loves humanity, it means everybody. He wants everybody to be saved. And then yet He knows, past, present, and future, all of these people who are not. try to keep, again, the Hail Mary in the back of your mind and in the forefront of your mind, that mystery. So you make it a meditation. There's litanies and novenas. They are beautiful. Sometimes if you pray a rosary online, like today, I prayed the rosary. I went for a walk with Sierra, and at the end, it was the Litany of the Blessed Mother. A beautiful way to end. A few other prayers at the end, but something else that if you really focus on the words, it's going to affect your heart. It's going to be not just a mental thing. You're going to start living your faith that 12 inches down to your heart. Novenas. They're all structured prayers, and if you miss a day in a 9-day novena, bring it here, baby. Where is it? Go get it. Bring it here. Bring it here. Is it over there? If you miss one of the 9 days, don't stop. This is like the stupidest thing that we do, and I was guilty of it too. I missed a day. Looks like I can't finish the consecration, or looks like I can't finish the novena. Absolutely not. Just pick up where you left off, even if it's 2 days or 3 days. Finish it. Don't just do it to check the box. Go get it. Bring it here. Go get it. Where is it? Bring it here, hon. What? Is it? Where is it? Is it stuck on here? Sorry, my butt in your face. Oh, come on, it's way over here. Okay, I got it now. Okay, so again, don't just read those, 3 days that you missed, like just to check the box. I mean, seriously, sit down and meditate on what it is that you're praying. The Mass, the highest form of prayer. Actively participating in the Mass is an essential part of our life as Catholics. Prepare, read the readings the night before. I got into this practice and I stopped. I have to get back into that practice. So I would read the daily readings before I went to bed. Sometimes I would pray, like I would dream about what I, read. And then in the morning, when I read them again in prayer, I had time, like, oh yeah, I remember that. And I was thinking about that in my dream, or something else may come to me. And then when you go to Mass, make sure that you are focusing on what you're there for. You're not there to see the other people. You shouldn't be walking up and down, the aisle saying hi to folks. I know it's nice and it's kind to do, but that is a moment of preparation. When you are going down that aisle to meet your bridegroom, make sure that you are thinking about how you're going to receive. So if you did the 33-day consecration to Jesus through Mary with St. Louis de Montfort's True Devotion, we're supposed to ask Mary, ask the Father, Heavenly Father, please allow Mary, the perfect human creature that you have created, who bore your perfect Son, please have her come into my body, into my soul, into my heart. Jesus, please, before I receive you in my physical body, please have your perfect mother, the human that you love more than anyone, come in and receive you for me. Holy Spirit, your beloved spouse, please have Mary come in and receive Jesus. So sometimes, I can just feel her. It's not like a physical thing, but spiritually, I could just feel her walking in my body when we go up and receive. Because it's both of us. When Jesus comes in, immediately I shout out to the Holy Spirit, please form Jesus and Mary in me more. And then I think about Jesus and Mary grabbing each other's hands and dancing around where they spin, and they are spinning around with each other's hands. You know what I'm trying to say? I hope you know what I'm trying to say. And it just fills me with so much joy. So make sure, especially during that time, that you pray extra. Sometimes we just walk on up there, right? We're worried about stepping on someone's foot. We're just we're just going through the motions. Don't go through the motions. It should really be an active worship at the Mass. Okay, there's meditative prayer. Have you guys ever done Lectio Divina? If you sign up for the usccb.org emails, a Lectio Divina like PDF comes to you like on the Thursday before the Sunday. I don't look at it much because I don't know, my personal prayer preference isn't as much, I don't know. Sometimes I read that and I'm like, you're guiding me, Mr. Lectio Divina person, whoever wrote this, through the readings. And I want to hear what God is saying to me directly, because I may not have those same questions. Or when I read the readings, I may not look at that stuff like the Lectio Divina document does. So it's, you read it. So Lectio means read. You read the short passage slowly several times. So you could pick a verse, you could pick all of the readings. When you're doing any kind of prayer, you may have to pray 3 times. You know, you may have to read it slowly 3 times if nothing is coming to you. It comes to me so fast now because I'm so used to reading the readings and having God speak to me in my life right now through the words. Oratio is prayer. I'm sorry. Meditatio is meditation. So you're reflecting on the words, you're imagining the scene, and you're considering what God might be saying to you. Oratio is prayer. So you respond to God with your own prayers, praises, thanksgivings, or petitions. Contemplatio is contemplation. You're resting in God's presence. You're allowing him to work with you without needing words or thoughts. You can, like, I'm not an imaginative person. I remember St. Teresa of Avila said, like, Lord, I cannot imagine. I don't have that good of an imagination. And he like called her out on that. So you might be, you know, better putting yourself in the scene. So as you're reading the reading, you're, you know, you're a bystander, or maybe you're the person that Jesus is talking to, and you kind of put yourself in that scene. Like you really think about, okay, they're in the desert. There's sand everywhere. You know, there's like grit on their hands. Maybe they're sweaty and hot. There's other people around, and Jesus, you know, like you're really putting yourself in the scene, like almost as if you're thinking about the Passion of the Christ, or maybe you've seen a movie or something like that. I'm just not as good at that. I don't know if you guys do that a lot. So again, contemplation, I want to reflect that there's a difference, right? There's vocal prayer, there's mental prayer or meditative prayer. Contemplation is really where you just sit. You just sit and contemplate the love of God. You rest in his presence. There's some mornings where I just don't have the words, but I do feel the love. And I'm just like, Sierra, come here. Bring it here. Come on. Good girl. Good girl, baby. I got this one. Want that one? Go get it. You know, you just love him. He doesn't need to hear anything out of your mouth. You don't need to be saying things in your mind to him. You just need to love him sometimes. Okay, you can meditate on sacred art or images. You can use a religious image to focus your thoughts and invoke prayer. You can journal. Ow. Hey, hey, hey. Don't hurt me like that. Don't bite. Don't bite. You can bite that. Here. Ready? I'm not a good journaler, but when I journal, it's great. I just never go back and read it. And that's the whole point of journaling. Like if you journal, Cherie, this is probably right up your alley. Like if you journal, you should like put a color or fold down a piece of paper that are the days where you feel the presence of God. You are in a total state of consolation, so that when you're not, you could go back and go to those turned down pages and remind yourself that you will be out of this desolation soon. And maybe it even triggers something in you that brings you back into that moment. Oh, yeah, man, it was so great. What was different in my life when I was doing this back then? Probably more prayer. I mean, prayer is it. It's everything. All right. So again, you write down your thoughts, your reflections. It can help you organize your mind and deepen your awareness of God's presence. Maybe something is coming to you, and maybe 3 days later, you're like, gosh, what was he saying to me the other day? Well, you can go back to your journal and check it out. Contemplative prayer, again, is centering prayer, Christian meditation, silent prayer where you rest in his presence. You let go of the thoughts and the distractions. This is, a more advanced practice, because if you're just barely getting by with vocal prayers, you're barely meditating on the rosary, sitting and calming your mind and just loving God is going to be a harder thing to do. It really is, because you're going to have to fight those distractions even more. But do it anyway. You're going to find that the more you pray, the more you practice praying, the easier it's going to get. It's when we start and stop and wait and then start and stop. I'll never forget when I was first starting to pray, and I was 1 day on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 5 days off, and I couldn't get into a groove. And then one day he shouted at me in the gospel, pick up your cross daily and follow me. And the word daily jumped out, like slapped me in the face, and I sat with it for 15, maybe even 20 minutes. Like, what are you trying to tell me with this word daily? And then finally it was, you have to pray daily. You can't expect to build a relationship with someone, spending time with them 1 day, take it off 3. This is how relationships work. It's you spending that time with that person, getting to know that person, understanding even what they're thinking without them saying it. That's how it is with God. All right. Adoration in the Blessed Sacrament, of the Blessed Sacrament. That's just sitting there, not reading a book, not praying a rosary, just sitting there and just loving him. Tell him how grateful you are. Tell him how thankful you are. Go through your blessings, and then be quiet. Because that's also another thing that we do too much. We talk too much. We never shut up, and we never let him talk. He's not going to come to you in that rushing wind, that thunder, that fire. He's going to come to you in a whisper. And you're not going to be able to hear the whisper if you just keep jabbering in your mind with your lips. It just doesn't work that way. All right. Cultivate an attitude of prayer throughout the day. We hear in 1 Thessalonians 5:17, pray without ceasing. Prayer doesn't always mean that you're sitting down, you're kneeling in church, you're at adoration. Prayer is just talking to the Lord. I love you, God. I'm so grateful for you, Lord. Lord, please figure out what I should eat today. Lord, please give me the energy to work out. Give me the grace to do the right thing here. Give me the grace to love someone even though I don't really want to. Give me the grace to forgive someone. You're constantly talking to him so that you build that all day long praying without ceasing. I remember when I first read that, I was like, what, are you kidding me? I got to work. This is back when I was in the corporate world. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to pray through this meeting. I'm going to pray through this budget planning. I'm going to pray through this uncomfortable conflict discussion I have to have with an employee. And it just, you bring God into work. Please, Lord, help me to deal with this guy in this other department because blah, 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 blah. That's what praying without ceasing means. And it's just an awareness of God's presence in everything that we do. Short, quick prayers too, they call those ejaculatory prayers throughout the day, like Jesus, I trust in you, Lord, have mercy. Oops, sorry. Thank you, God, all these types of things. I say this many times, offer up your daily tasks, your work, your chores, all of it, making dinner, doing the laundry, cleaning the bathroom, all can be prayers, especially if you offer up something that you don't want to do. Now it can be a meritorious prayer for you, for someone else, for reparation of sinners. Hey. Okay. Don't put it under here while I'm on this, babe. You're being so good. Sorry, she just gets this under 2 pieces of furniture and then she barks like crazy. Okay, the Angelus, which I do not do, a short traditional prayer prayed at the morning, noon, and evening. You can also do the Liturgy of the Hours, where you stop at certain times. I was doing that for a while, and then I stopped that, and I started getting back into it, and so I'm kind of like, dipping my toe back in. All right, so let's talk about overcoming obstacles and challenges. So let's talk about distractions, right? When the distraction comes and it's a task, while you're in prayer, write it down. I use this, which sometimes can be a little bit of a deterrence too, right? If I just make sure that my mind says, go to your notes app, write this down, click it off, put the phone back on the desk next to me or the table next to me, I'm good. But if this is too tempting, then get a notebook, write it down. By the way, another thing that can help you in the middle of the night, if your mind keeps going, put a notepad next to your desk. You don't have to turn the light on. You may find that you have very, very funny handwriting by the time you read it in the morning, but it helps because then you could just be like, because I won't remember. I don't know about you. I won't remember. It's not going to happen. Sorry, I haven't actually looked at the comments here for a while. All right, let's just quickly do that here. Yes, if I don't pray in the morning, the rest of the day is very challenging. I think your suggestion of getting up early specifically to pray is an idea I'm going to try. Excellent, Mike. Let me know how it goes. Can you explain what it means to surrender ourselves to Jesus, and how do we know if we have done it from the heart? Okay, so surrendering to Jesus is giving him your day. Basically saying, everything that I do, Lord, I want you to guide me and lead me through it. I'm surrendering this feeling of anxiety to you because I have this big thing on my plate, or because I'm going to see this person that I don't really get along with. I'm surrendering everything about my day. I'm surrendering how I act, what I say, what I eat, what I do with this body. I'm surrendering it to you. Like, you live my life for me. And help me, help me to let go. I'm giving it to you. I'm surrendering it to you. It's like offering it up, lifting it up to the Lord, saying, this is yours. I'm supposed to be peaceful and joyful and loving and kind and generous and in self-control. And I don't feel like it right now. I'm afraid of something. So I surrender it to you. You can just use the same offering it up. Like, this is yours. And I'm surrendering my life to you today. Does that help? Let me know. Let me know. Can we still pray for the conversion of our family members? Or if we surrender, does it mean that we just let go and let it be? Aha! So this was one of the things that I realized when my husband died, Letty, was I gave my husband to Jesus and Mary many, 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 many years ago. And so guess who wasn't praying for them or him? I wasn't on a regular basis praying for my husband because I thought I already offered it up and gave him to Jesus and Mary. But what a mistake that was, because I, every single day, just like we have to surrender ourselves every single day, I have to offer up my husband, my kids. Where is it? Sierra? Oh, there it is. My husband, my kids, my mom, everyone. I have to offer it all up every single day. So it's a daily surrender of ourselves, and it's a daily offering and prayer for everyone. So yes, still pray for the conversion of your family members. Just think of every day as a renewed time for you to surrender. That's why it's give us this day our daily bread. You know, we have to pray every day. We have to turn to God every day, and it's a new day every day. So we got to do it every single day. You'd think so, but I'm not a journaler. What? I only write down the extraordinary things. Those don't occur daily. Well, I would have thought you would be. Huh. It sounds like that's right up your Patrick, I pray the Angelus all the time. That's awesome. I didn't know that. I mean, there are a lot of people who do that, and it's beautiful because it makes you stop in a certain part of the day and pray. I mean, so this is another thing that Bishop Robert Barron said on Tucker Carlson today, that, you know, one of the things, this was the area that I don't think he did so good with, because Tucker was like, how do you pray? And he was like, well, you know, I pray the Liturgy of the Hours. And I was like, well, you're a bishop, you're a priest, of course you do that. And yes, the Liturgy of the Hours is beautiful. I mean, there's something beautiful about praying that prayer, those prayers all throughout the day. And he mentioned that it even goes back to the Old Testament, that it's like they used to stop and pray 7 times a day. So I don't know. That didn't answer the question in my humble opinion. So I think that got totally lost. So anyway, but yes, praying throughout the day is a beautiful thing. Okay, so distractions. Stop. Here, come here. Write them down, and then this is how you get back. You gently bring yourself back into the presence of God. You will feel the gentleness when you do it the right way. You know, you'll write it down and you'll be like, okay, Lord, I'm coming back to you. I'm coming back to that moment, because there's nothing more disturbing when a distraction comes and you're in the middle of the most beautiful moment. So you just bring yourself back into the presence of God. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't get mad at yourself. Don't let it blow your whole, well, my prayer time just got blown up. This stinks. I'm not doing it anymore. No, just bring yourself back into the presence of God and say, okay, God, I'm back. I'm back. Dryness in prayer. This is a common experience where you feel no emotion. You don't feel any consolation. You're kind of like, well, that kind of blew, you know, like, this isn't what I want. I want to have a change in me. I want to feel different. Persevere through it anyway. Do it anyway. Even when you don't feel like it. Actually, those are the best prayers to God, because when you don't want to do it and you do it anyway, He is like my good and faithful servant. If it's the most distracted prayer you've ever done, where every time you pulled yourself back into the presence of God, you had another distraction, it's okay. Just keep praying. Keep dedicating. Sierra. Okay, stop. Just keep sticking with the time that you've dedicated with God. Finish all of the things that you were planning on doing. And the Lord, even if it's the most distracted, uncomfortable, just ridiculous prayer time, it doesn't matter. He's going to say, again, my good and faithful servant, because you did it. You fought through it. So you have to persevere through dryness. There are also really good opportunities to grow in faith and purification, because you're doing something that you just don't want to do, and you're not getting anything out of it. You're not getting that beautiful consolation, that change in your being to go on with the day. But just do it. Keep doing it. Trust that He's still present. He's still working, even when you don't feel it. Lack of time. Reevaluate your priorities, my friends. St. Francis de Sales, famously said, everyone needs 30 minutes of personal prayer time each day. This is why I say 30 minutes too, but seriously, it's my personal opinion from my own life. Everyone needs 30 minutes of personal prayer time each day, unless they are too busy to pray, in which case they need an hour. I think also Bishop Fulton Sheen said the same thing. When you're too busy, you need an hour, right? Because you need even more prayer. And I guarantee you, myself included, if you look at your phone and it tells you how much you were on your phone, it will shock you. Don't tell me you don't have 30 minutes to pray. Don't tell me you don't honestly have like 3 hours to pray, because you do. You do. You also have time to exercise. You also have time to do these other things in your life that you don't think you have time for. You do. Just, you know what? If Jesus was sitting right next to you and he's like, well, you don't have time to pray? Well, let me see your schedule. Let me see where you spend your time. Would you honestly be like, yeah, no, I still don't have time to pray. I need an hour on Instagram. I need to flow through social media. I need to listen to these podcasts. Whether they're good, holy podcasts or not, it doesn't make you build that relationship with God. Lord, I don't know you. That's a big difference. Now you can learn. There's definitely good podcasts out there, and we should be watching and learning and constantly, enriching our lives with more knowledge. But that doesn't mean that we don't pray. Unconfessed sin. Oh, okay, I'm going to go there anyway. Unconfessed sin. So frequenting the sacrament of reconciliation cleanses the soul, and it opens you more fully to God's grace in prayer. I know this. It is a difference when you're praying. And even if you have a little sin, if it's a venial sin, maybe it's not a mortal sin, it still is weighing on you. Think about that sometimes and get to confession more often for two reasons, for multiple reasons, for two reasons for sure. Number one, you don't know the day or the hour. So what are you waiting for? Because you don't want to actually die and still have 7 different venial sins, or God forbid, a mortal sin on your soul, and you have yet to go to confession. And number two, it makes you more aware of how you're living your life. If you keep confessing that this is my idol, or that you're still not forgiving someone, or you're still gossiping, or you're still not, you're still anxious, you're still not trusting God, you're still not praying. You better, if you're not praying, take that to confession and get those little demons off of you who are, remember this, the spirit. Sierra, stop. You want to go in the room? Remember the spirit, inability to pray because of worldly cares. That's an actual spirit. And it's a sin not to keep God the center of your life. Because if you ain't praying, you ain't keeping him in the center of your life. Okay, discouragement. Remember that prayer is a gift and it's a battle. Seek spiritual direction or accountability from a trusted Catholic friend if you're struggling. We can get discouraged. Okay, seek guidance and resources. We're not even going to get to chapter 4 because I keep going off on these sidelines. Seek guidance and resources. So if you don't actually know how to do mental prayer, learn. Now, there's only so much you can do when you read it in a book, when you learn it on a podcast. You have to apply it. You have to do it. But for me, it was learning how to do it and then making it my own. This is a relationship. It's not a map. It's not a formula. Do this, and then get that. This is your own relationship with God. This is your own language with him. You will hear him in different ways. We're all different in how we build that relationship, but maybe you just need to learn. So search for some podcasts. How do I pray mental prayer? How do I, as a Catholic, build that relationship with God? There's plenty of them out there. Some people may find this one. You can get spiritual direction, super hard to do. I'm a coach, but you may want to find a priest, but they are so busy. Good luck. It's just so difficult. But they can help you, give you personal guidance, be really honest with you, ask those tough questions. And that's pretty much what a director will do. Read the Catechism of the Catholic Church, Part 4. It's dedicated to prayer, and it's a great resource. Books on prayer. Read the works by spiritual masters like St. Teresa of Avila, St. John of the Cross, St. Therese of Lisieux, or even, most recent authors. There's Catholic apps and websites, and many of them offer daily readings, reflections, and traditional prayers. There's Laudate, there's Hallow, there's Amen. I never heard of Amen, to be honest. I just saw that, so I had to put that in here. Laudate, I love that. It's basically the Liturgy of the Hours, but it's recorded and it's audible. It's really great. Join a prayer group or a Bible study. I have never done this. So prayers with others can be a little bit of encouragement, can deepen your understanding of Scripture. Ultimately, it's all about building consistency and what works for you. However you need to do it in your way, in your life, on your time. But I'm telling you, we all can get up early. It could be a great sacrifice. And that's our sacrifice to the Lord. Lord, it's 4:30 in the morning. There's no way I want to be up right now. But I'm getting up because I love you and I desire to spend this time with you, to set my day. I want to offer you my first fruits because I'll pray later. Rarely works. Rarely works. Because I don't know about you, but when I try to pray later on in the day, it's never the same. Never, never, never the same. It's rushed. It's distracted. It's hard to sit down and pray later on in the day, even at night. But I do pray at night, and I'm going to be praying in 9 minutes because I love Father James Parker, Fr. James Parker, on YouTube. It's just a beautiful way to end my day. And even when I go there at night, I want to have at least 1 or 2 rosaries prayed before I pray it at night with him. And then there's just something about, wrapping up your night. It's about an hour to an hour and 15. It's just so great. Okay. Maybe we go over chapter 4 at another time. Okay. Pat has alarm set to pray the Angelus. That's another thing. I mean, for sure, set your alarm in the morning. All right, I'm going to bring myself to full. For sure, set your alarm in the morning. There's no doubt that you need that. But yeah, I mean, I set my alarm for 3 o'clock for the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Sometimes I hit it off because I do it at 2:58. Because if I do it at 2:55, I'll be like, oh, okay, 5 minutes. And then I'll find that I'm like 10 minutes into something else. And then I look up and it's like 3:08. And I'm like, oh man, I do it as close to the 3 o'clock as possible. So I don't know if Patrick sets it immediately or not, like at noon. And then he just does it when the alarm goes, because that's how the monastic people and the religious people pray. They pray and they work. They pray and they work. And they probably pray through their work. It's just amazing. Okay, speaking of prayer, let's end with the consecration to the Sacred Heart of Jesus prayer for the end of the night. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. O Sacred Heart of Jesus, to you I consecrate and entrust my person, my life, my family, my undertakings, my pains, my hopes, my sufferings, my joys, my friendships, my desires, my plans, my thoughts, my actions, and all that I am and all that I have. May my entire being be consecrated to you. Look upon me as your own, and do with me what you will. I desire to serve you, to love you, and to glorify you. I resolve to avoid anything that could displease you. I choose you today, O Sacred Heart, as the sole object of my love, the protector of my life, the pledge of my salvation, the remedy for my weakness and inconstancy, the atonement for my sins, and the sure refuge at the hour of my death. Be then, O Heart of goodness, my justification before God the Father, and turn away from me the strokes of his wrath. Heart of love, I put all my trust in you, for I fear everything from my own weakness. but I hope everything from your goodness. Consume in me all that can displease you or resist you. May your pure love be so deeply imprinted in my heart that I may never forget you nor be separated from you. I implore you through your infinite goodness that my name be written in you, for I desire to live and die in your service and in your love. Sacred Heart of Jesus, I trust in you. Sacred Heart of Jesus, have mercy on us. Sacred Heart of Jesus, your kingdom come. Amen. Okay, so Letty, that is pretty much surrendering to God. That prayer, you can pray every single day. And that is truly surrendering. It's got your family included. I would still do, you know what, when it comes to your family, you might be the only one who is on the journey. So pray and fast and do a bunch of sacrifices for your family. God is not going to turn a deaf ear to all of the things that you will suffer in your life on behalf of your family. All right, Pat, my alarms. The Angelus, 6, 12, and 6. Memorare at 9. Divine Mercy at 3. That's amazing. Just beautiful. Okay. All right, everyone. I got to run. I got 4 minutes. I still have to let this one out. She hasn't pooped yet. All right, everyone. I love you all so much. Find something more with God. Prayer. Build that relationship. It will fundamentally change your life. That's what we're called to do. And then you will find yourself more confident in being that disciple and making that disciple and living that peaceful life and having all of the gifts of the Holy Spirit shine through, especially that self-control. And self-control is discipline, and discipline is praying every day, hopefully first thing in the morning. All righty, I love you all so much. Find something more with God, soul, mind, and body, and have a blessed and inspired night. Get some sleep. Mwah. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I will catch you guys soon. I love you so much. God bless.